have to talk about Scotland announcing their squad for this upcoming European Championship, and how I think they'll fare at this Euros. Now, Scotland is a team that I've always had a soft heart for them. I rooted a lot for them. I like the players, I like the personality of their players, and I like the fact of the underdog story, the British nation that not many people talk about the way England is talked about. Like Wales in 2016 had a soft spot for them, not as much in this World Cup just because of the fact that they were in the US men's national team group. So even though that they were, England's little brother, I was just solely focused on the US men's national team that I didn't really worry about. But when Wales competed at the Euros in 2016 and 2021, I rooted for them strongly. Scotland, when they competed at Euros 2021, I really, really, really rooted for them because I love the fact that their little brother story kind of, and the attention that they don't get. I love that, and I love the nature of their players, the passion of their players. John McGinn, Scott McTominay, Andrew Robertson, Kieran Tierney, Billy Gilmore. These are players with huge passion and huge desire and huge mental strength. The performance that they had last Euros in Wembley to come out of that game with a draw, with a point, to save themselves. They end up getting eliminated later on. But this is a team. And then this qualifications at this Euros has been absolutely phenomenal. Like the way that they play. Number one, they're starting it off by defeating Spain, and then going on the unbeaten run that they went on to, only losing I believe one game the entire run, and that was away to Spain, which is and in my opinion, in that Spain game, Scotland actually had opportunities in that game to equalize. I think they had a goal called offsides, reviewed by VAR or something of that sort. But Scotland definitely had their opportunities in that game. They ended up losing that game 2-0, but they weren't dominated, to say the least, in that game. But yeah, overall, Scotland is a team that have a soft side for. Last Euros, it was a little rough. They played a very, very good game, in my opinion, against Czech Republic, but they lacked the ability, the clinicalness. They had Lyndon Dykes, was not really the strongest of strikers. They lacked the goals, while Patrick Schick had moments of brilliance, and they ended up losing that game. They got the draw against against England, and then they ended up losing to a Croatia team that just has that kind of experience in these sort of games. But this is a team I tell you was talent. They have Scott McTominay, Callum McGregor, who scored the goal last Euros, actually their only goal last Euros, Billy Gilmore, Ryan Christie, Stuart Armstrong, John McGinn, who's having a brilliant season. Defensively, they got Kieran Tierney, who's had a very good season for Sociedad, Andy Robertson, Grant Hanley, Liam Cooper. And then their attacking options a little weak with Shea Adams, Lyndon Dykes, James Forrest, Lawrence Shankland, and then Ben Doak is actually one of the youngsters from Liverpool's academy. He's in the squad, which I'm surprised that he's in the squad. Just knowing the way Stevie Clarke is a little bit hesitant with the youngsters. The amount of time it took him to call up Billy Gilmore, by the way, Stevie Clarke, amazing, brilliant manager. What he's done for this Scotland national team. This was a Scotland national team that didn't qualify for tournaments before. They really, really struggled to get anywhere near the tournaments. They'd finish last or second to last in groups. But the way that they've qualified for 2 Euros, even in the World Cup, they were this close. They were a playoff game away from Ukraine, or a playoff semifinal away from going to the World Cup. So 2 games away from going to the World Cup. Even then, they were almost there. And, they've been in and then been qualified for both Euros. He's been a brilliant job. He's been a brilliant manager. What he did with Aberdeen, taking them to Europe, is a team that has no European pedigree with them at all whatsoever. Was it Aberdeen? I'm probably got that mistaken. It was probably not Aberdeen, but it was a Scottish club that doesn't have much experience. It was it's Kilmarnock. Yeah, what he did was Kilmarnock, a team with not much European pedigree. The way he took them to Europe, brilliant. He's a brilliant manager. He has good experience. He actually is a former Chelsea player. Played there for 11 years, 330 appearances for them, and yeah, for me, he's a brilliant manager. Now he's gonna be using a 5-4-1 or a 3-4-2-1, depending on which way they're gonna look at it. Dykes, he's gonna be the striker, and they're gonna probably go with McTominay, McGinn, Gilmore, McGregor, and Robertson, Ralston, Tierney, Handry, Portis, Goon. That's Goon, the goalkeeper. That's probably the way that they're gonna start off. They love using wing backs as going up and down the field to get an attack. Dykes is very crucial because of the work that he does, not only getting support by crosses in and all that, but the work he does when he's not on the ball. Despite the fact that he's not a good goal scorer, he's a hard worker. He gives work at rate, and that's going to be valuable going up against the better teams whenever they do need to work hard, whenever they need to press up high, cover up space. His work ethic is going to be very valuable in that situation. McTominay, he's going to have to bring his goal-scoring boots at this Euros. He's going to have to show his capacity that he's shown at Manchester United this season to make those late runs into the box, to get on the end of crosses, to find himself at the right place at the right time, because they're going to need goals from him. They're going to need goals from a guy like Colin McGregor coming in and making those sort of runs late in, whether he starts or he comes in off the bench. They're going to need him to make that sort of impact. He was the only guy that scored a goal for them all last Euros. He's going to have to come in and do that because there's not that many goals within this team. Despite the way that they've performed in qualifiers, I think goal scoring is going to be a little bit of a concern with this team. But what's not going to be concerned is work rate, their desire, organized. They're going to be very organized and structured. And for me, I think they have a very good chance at getting out of the group. In a tough group, by the way. They open up against Germany in home Euros. The home opening game of the Euros, Germany-Scotland. Look, that's difficult. I can't even lie to you. That is very difficult for Germany, for Scotland. Especially of Germany on the basis of what they've, the friendlies that they've performed in last couple of days. Last window, a month ago or so, defeating France and Netherlands. Yeah, that's going to be a hard game for them. They also take on a Switzerland team that has good pedigree in international tournaments. They always make the round of 16, and that's kind of their ceiling, but they always get out of the group stages. They never get eliminated then. And then they have a hungry team with talent all over the pitch, play beautiful football under Rossi, led by Dominic Soboslai. Had a very good Euros last time around. They should have eliminated Germany and moved on, but they conceded a goal in the last minutes. But they drew against France last Euros. They drew against Germany, and they gave Portugal all that they could handle. So look, this is a difficult group. In my opinion, all four of these teams are worthy teams of potentially making the knockout stages. They all have very good teams, in my opinion, and they all have, potential to be some sort of a dark horse at this Euros. Not to win it or nothing like that, but I believe Scotland, Switzerland, and Hungary, I wouldn't be surprised to see any of those three teams make a shock run to the quarterfinals. I wouldn't. Now Germany, they have higher expectations than the rest. Not based on their form, because their form has been woeful over the past half a decade or so, but just based on the talent, the players that they have, and the fact that this is a home European championship for them, and the expectations are high, and justifiably so. They are the Germans national team. But yeah, I'm interested to see how Scotland play at this Euros. I want to know if they're going to be expansive and they're going to be willing to open up against some of these top teams, or if they're going to play completely low block football and really rely on their work rate and moments of their way of scoring goals. I like to see that the approach Steve Clarke has with the Scottish team. Now, we're gonna conclude the show here. Thank you guys for tuning in to the GSMC Soccer Podcast presented by the GSMC Sport Network. Your support means a lot to us. So please remember to subscribe to the show and leave a positive review. It really does make a difference. We also invite you to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram for more content and updates. Thank you once again and have a wonderful, wonderful day.